Charming Major Luke McCarthy, he's looking for 3 from the 5 races so far this set. Starters happy, green light flashes and they're off, and from the outside Charming Major actually won the start, is looking to drive across the face of the field and is going to do so. Second, Better to Be Tricky with Artie Guy third, and back on the inside next of all on settling down is I'm a Jamar. Mr Haywood settles in a nice spot and stuck out there 3 horses wide was Brad's Luck. They were followed then by Pump the Brakes, well back in the field then as Flying Pegasus, and settling down at the back end of the field now as they work into the home stretch was Idle Hands. Down the lane they come, and they've got 2 laps left to go, a mile to travel, and it's Charming Major leading the way. Brad's Luck works up to breeze, and up on the outside Pump the Brakes made a line of 3 as they leave the straight. Artie Guy is next, and one out, one back momentarily there as they leave the straight as Better to Be Tricky. Then I'm a Jamar, Mr Haywood and Flying Pegasus, and last of all into the back is Idle Hands. Lead time pretty slick at 37, and these two declare each other on up front, where on the inside it's Charming Major, only ahead in front of Pump the Brakes, who was really fired up there, and he tries to restrain it now, Grayling. In third spot, leaders back as Brad's Luck, one by one as they work off the back, Better to Be Tricky, and then Artie Guy, Mr Haywood, well back as I'm a Jamar, and also Flying Pegasus, and still last of all is Idle Hands, about 8 off the lead. 28.9 first quarter last mile as they work into the home straight, and the leader is Charming Major. Again assumes control and gets about 3 parts clear. Second on the outside is Pump the Brakes as they work down the lane for the bell. Next on the inside is Brad's Luck, one out, one back. Better to Be Tricky's had a good trip, very economical, and then came Artie Guy, Mr Haywood, and the trailing trio as they leave the straight. I'm a Jamar, Flying Pegasus, Idle Hands. 31.3 for the next quarter. 60.2 the half as they work to the 600. And the leader is Charming Major. On the outside, Pump the Brakes won't go away. Brad's Luck third. Better to Be Tricky peeled out 3 horses wide to offer. Mr Haywood gets its back, and then Artie Guy yielding ground from Flying Pegasus, Idle Hands. This leader's gonzo. And at the tail of the field is I'm a Jamar. They've headed off Charming Major. On the outside, Better to Be Tricky had gone to the lead. In hot pursuit now as Mr Haywood Pumped the Brakes, and then came Brad's Luck as they near the home turn. 29.9 the quarter. Better to Be Tricky's got a fight on its hands. Mr Haywood, who was specced in betting, is inch by inch coming out after the leader. It's Better to Be Tricky. Mr Haywood levels up on the outside. They're staging a great 2-horse war. Mr Haywood, Better to Be Tricky. Better to Be Tricky, nothing if not gamers kicking back. Better to Be Tricky wins it. Tough effort, beats Mr Haywood, who had its chance. In third spot, Brad's Luck, and from the clouds, I'm a Jamar flooded home for 4. Then came, further back, Flying Pegasus, Idle Hands. Charming Major dropped right out, and back with it was Pump the Brakes. And at the tail, Artie Guy, last quarter, 28.9 and 158.2.